good morning, friends and neighbors and friends. How's everybody feeling on a Sunday morning? Pretty good, I hope. Yesterday I did 16 miles. Today I just did a tiny little itty bitty recovery run, training for the New York City Marathon. My loved ones are trying to convince me to make it my last full marathon. What with my advancing age and my knees and my ankles and whatnot, I'm not so sure. Let's just see how it all goes. This morning, as I've already said on Instagram and on Periscope, better known as Twitter Live, we find ourselves having this internal conflict with fundamental unfairness as we perceive it to be. I can remember from my childhood how the swift hand of punishment awaited me for behavior that so many of my other peers were exhibiting with abandon and without consequences. It rankled me so. And even to this day, as an adult, I find myself often in situations where I'm expected to hold a higher standard and be above things, and nevertheless witness those of lesser behavior be rewarded with immunity and impunity. A tough one to bear, to be sure, but you know something? The younger ones among us might not understand this, but there's a hidden benefit that comes with that. We learn discipline. We learn self-control. We learn, dare I say it, maturity. As I have a little game with the sun and the shadow. Yeah, maturity, but it's still there. The rest of them are the others. They don't learn this. When they are rewarded for doing the wrong thing and assume that, oh, they're just always going to be that way, they do not grow. They do not advance. They just kind of stay exactly the same way they were as children in one way or another. And yeah, they do manage to recruit a bunch of enablers who allow them to continue that route of immunity and impunity. But while the rest of us who have greater expectations to fulfill, we have no choice but to get a little bit better at life than they do. So don't sell yourself short. And let's be honest, as our friend Isaiah Hankel sometimes tells us, justice is subjective. Feels a little weird for me to be adopting that since I've been practicing law for nearly 20 years, but he's not really wrong. What I think is justice and what the adversary thinks is justice are not usually going to be the same thing, and the judge may or may not have a completely different idea of what justice is. Okay? So when you're saying something isn't fair, it only means you don't like it. It doesn't really mean it's not fair all the time. It's not always the same thing. It's just basic Stoicism 101 we have to continue teaching ourselves. We cannot control other people's behavior and actions, no matter how little we think of them, or more likely, how much we are antagonized by them. Well, I add my corollary onto that. We can accept people for who they are because we have no power over them. And we can also reject people for who they are because they have no power over us. You may be locked in and be forced to deal with people you're not happy with, like with extended family or with work. You can't pick and choose people that way. But in all other areas of your life, when you have the power of hashtag boot 'em, get the boot on and get them off. It can be done, friends and neighbors, it can be done. And our high conflict brothers and sisters may very well fail to understand this. And they don't really have to, do they? That is my word for this Sunday morning. I wish I could give it to you live, but YouTube has these rules that unless you're super cool like Natalie Nightwolf, it ain't happening. So, have a great day, everybody. Bye.